Welcome back, everybody. Today we're talking about Starfield. That's right, this game just keeps getting better and better. The more information we keep finding, the more we peel this back. There's been a ton of information that's come out of Gamescom and the interviews with Sir Todd Howard, Pete Heinz, Phil Spencer. Don't worry, there's no spoilers here. A ton to reveal, a ton to talk about, so let's get into it. So yes, this game is so much bigger than we think it is. On the hundreds and hundreds of hours to the new game mode that was announced, modding and making your own planets, there's so much depth to this game in the way you play it, the character builds, the sheer amount of content. So again, let's peel it back. Let's jump in. All right, so Sir Todd Howard, I think my capture of Mr. Todd Howard is a little janky. I'm sorry, I did him dirty. I caught him mid-blank, so it looks weird, right? Anyways, one of the big reveals were there's going to be a new game mode called New Game Plus. And as far as I understand it, it'll be very similar to Diablo 4, where when you're done with the campaign, you take all of your stuff with you and you continue to play. Or very similar to the game Remnant 2, where you take your character with you. That is the progression and the world changes around you. That's the impression that I'm getting. Obviously, you can stay in your own realm or whatever. But there are procedurally generated planets, so that's a real thing. So if you were to re-roll your campaign again, I believe some of those things would change as far as I understand it. Anyways, I thought one of the biggest takeaways from this, which was fantastic, again, this is what we all want to hear. He says, the more you give Starfield, the more Starfield gives back to you. And I was like, ooh, that gameplay, that's what we're talking about. So, fantastic. I thought that was very exciting. All right, so game performance and the leaker update. So we'll go ahead and touch base on the leaker. I can't remember the guy's name off top. So allegedly, this is what has happened. I think this is how it's going down. Apparently, he's getting arrested or has been arrested, allegedly. And it turns out the games that he was selling and shipping out, apparently he yoinked them? Allegedly? I don't want to get in trouble for this, but I thought that was wild. I heard that he's been arrested, and I was like, from the game leaks? That's crazy. But no, it was something else. So either way, it was kind of nice that we got to see it. That explains why that guy was so bad at playing the game. And don't worry, I think anything that was in that leak is honestly what they saw in the theater when Todd Howard showed it at Gamescom. So I don't think there was any major spoilers there whatsoever. Just saying. From somebody who's seen it, trust me, it was painful to watch. I saved you the pain. Anyways, talking about game performance, and again, because of the leak, the console version was very, very smooth. There's really no issue with that. Saw no crashes, stuttering, or anything, even with the terrible game presentation. So that's very reassuring. Because yes, I was worried about this game. I was worried about it meeting its expectations, but also performance, because 76's release was so bad. I know it's a different studio, and I know it's good now, but hot stove, man, hot stove. So it's really nice to see that all of the people that are talking about it legitimately are all putting in really good things. And also, anybody playing on the PC has also said the same thing, that it's been really smooth. And also, remember, the modding community will be jumping in here and putting all kinds of new things in here. NVIDIA support, maybe some co-op, we'll see. That'll probably take a hot second. The DLSS, all kinds of stuff. So hang tight. It just looks like, as far as day one stuff, it looks like this is going to be really good. And we are going to get a day one patch, by the way. Fantastic. And it could be the New Game Plus. All right, so this other interview here, we have two more interviews that we're going to cover, the Phil Spencer and then the Pete Heinz, which was really good. I don't have, this is Pete Heinz, but I don't have Uncle Phil on here. Too bad. So anyways, it was pretty crazy. So Phil was talking that Starfield is more like Oblivion than it is Skyrim. Both great games, but I thought it was very interesting because he said, because Oblivion's more faction-based, and I think that's what he was referring to. He also said on his current playthrough, and he's done many playthroughs, but the one he's on right now, he's 150 hours deep, and he's not even slightly close to 100%ing the game. I'm like, perfect, right? Perfect. And I thought this was really interesting. He was talking about accessibility, because I know we have an Xbox exclusive, so it's on Xbox and PC, but he was really talking about how he wants this accessible for everybody, which really kind of put me back to the point of maybe it was Sony that was dragging their feet. I know they've kind of done it in the past. I don't know for sure, and again, I'm not trying to take one side or the other. I want this to be available to everybody. I own all of the systems, and I play on PC as well, so, keep the hate comments to yourself. You know what I mean? Everyone's going to be like, oh, you don't even play PlayStation. I'm like, relax. But no, I thought it was interesting. So, and it kind of lines up when you think about it, because one of the ways you can access the the cloud gaming is through a web browser, right? So you could do it on your console itself. And what's crazy is, so if I wanted to play a PC game on my Xbox, I would use what is it, Microsoft Edge, right? So that's one way to do it since they don't have a native application. So you could just do it through the web. But I thought it was interesting that PlayStation has recently removed their web browser. Yes, technically it still exists as like a little secret web browser, but if it's not robust enough to handle like a stream of content, which I think is done on purpose, then you wouldn't have that support necessarily. But again, I've got a video on this coming in the very near future. It should have already been out, but all of this stuff just keeps coming in so fast. But I have some viable options for PlayStation players and even some experimental stuff that I think might just work, even though there's been this huge roadblock for everybody on PlayStation, which really shouldn't be there, to be perfectly honest. So don't worry, I got your back. I'm digging deep. All right, so on to the modding community. I thought this was very interesting. Don't forget, they did build a scripting system into the game for modding, like specifically for modding. And so, yes, I think as the week goes on after early access, there'll be all kinds of really cool stuff, obviously for PC side. Eventually, I think if they're stable and then Bethesda takes it in, then there'll be some sort of mod store probably for the console side. So we'll kind of have to wait and see how that goes. But you know that modding community goes ham because, you know, Skyrim, Oblivion. Let's be real, right? Like, you've seen them. It's crazy. All right, so on to the Q&A, which I thought was also very interesting with Mr. Pete Heinz. Here's Mr. Pete. He's been with the company since, I think, since the beginning. Okay, so here's a summary of his first talk. So he said, ships have tiers and require certain pilot skills to level. Interesting. So I know this is going to be a big source of cash money, right? A little sip of the tactical cylinder here. Hang on. So, because think about it, if you bag a ship and then go sell it, that's quite a bit of credit. So it kind of makes sense it's on like a leveling system. Being able to get abducted from the surface to space with an enemy ship confirmed. He did talk about a pretty cool instance where that actually occurred. I thought it was cool. He was like, yeah, I'm on the ground, and as everybody moved forward, I kind of hung back, wiped everybody out, and jumped on the enemy ship, and apparently he got stuck. The enemy pilot was still there, closed the door, and then they took off, and so he was just taken away from the landing zone. I was like, that's great. Yes, the New Game Plus confirmed with a twist tied to the ending main quest? Question mark? Probably. And I'm speculating here. So like we talked about the New Game Plus, but because we kind of saw like Jedi powers at the end of the like main reveal or preview trailer, or gameplay trailer. I mean, they're calling it like space magic, but probably something like that would be my guess. I actually don't know, but it kind of seems like that, right? And they're really like cautious to even talk about the storyline itself because they said it's really spoilery. So I want to make sure that I'm not doing that either. But again, this is all stuff that they've said openly. So, and again, I just made that connection with the ending, so we'll kind of have to wait and see. They did say, or Pete did say, there is a slow burn for the game. You don't do very much at the start, and the game opens up slowly because I think there are so many options. A lot of people that have played the game have said that. But from what I've seen from the leaked footage, it looks like it's fast enough. Again, I think it kind of slowly introduces you to the game because it's going to get so big so fast. And then they said after that, it really opens up, and then boom, you're in it. You can remove the wanted trait, but it is hard. Interesting. Companions judge you for certain actions like picking locks to loot. Boo! We got to figure out who those scrubs are, right? If you want to be a space pirate. On the question of if you can spacewalk, he paused long and then said, "I've never tried it." That's weird, right? So we don't know. We do know you can get up from your chair and walk around in your ship. We do know that. You can craft weapons and spacesuits with unique effects. I thought that was very interesting. And on top of that, he said you can loot spacesuits, helmets, and weapons from the enemies. And apparently there's no level cap. I thought that was interesting too because in an interview with Lex Friedman, he did say that the level cap was 100, but that was a while ago. So again, they could have easily removed that. So I thought that was interesting. And there are Easter eggs everywhere. This is definitely a Bethesda game, so that makes sense. Vanguard are subcontractors for the UC. Okay. Mission boards offer diverse contracts like build an outpost at X, or mine resources and sell them at Y, or transport these people to X. And I thought this was interesting too, and honestly, this has been kind of my takeaway from seeing all of the different gameplay, not reviews, but just like watching the trailers and stuff. He says, pick boost pack as a skill, he said. I mean, that was kind of a given for me. Okay, so here's the next thing. There was a Q&A with Pete Heinz. He also did like some podcast or another interview. It looked like a podcast. I thought these were quite interesting. So Also, he says the game doesn't really start until after you do the main quest. So because we have new gameplay plus, I think the option to maybe do the main quest and then go back and do like another role on the campaign, as it were, I think it will be a viable option. I might be focusing on that to start, because then after my first playthrough, I'm really gonna like just go everywhere else. You know what I mean? And it looks like that definitely has a very, very deep part of the game for that. He says it's his favorite Bethesda main quest ever, and he even said it was the best ending he's ever done. He once accidentally got stuck into the vacuum of space because he boarded an enemy ship, and then the pilot took off. He says multiple passive POIs across the galaxy to find. As an example, he gave a set of farms where the people give resources to people of other planets. Interesting. Again, we covered this. Modders were able to create planets, or will be able to create planets. Certain companions will get annoyed with you if you do bad things, even companions who are really close to you. Lots of settlements with their own people and quests to find outside of the major cities. That's very reassuring, because you want it to be populated with stuff. Like, you understand how big this is because of all the different planets and whatever, but it's cool to see that it looks like they're very, very populated and things to do there. New Game Plus relates to the main story, so he couldn't say a word on it, but says it's different from most New Game Plus mechanics. It's rather special. So that's interesting. And again, I don't really know what he's referring to. It has to do with the main quest line, obviously. It says, doesn't know if you can fly from planet to planet, as in like with just your normal engines. It says, as grav driving is much quicker, it says it only takes a few seconds. So I think if people just want to manually like boost to a planet, I would say you could, but that'll just be one of the things we do test. And weapon mods combined with skills are really diverse. Said that they feel more like Iron Man at one stage. Ooh, that's hot. So yeah, I think those Q&A takeaways from Pete Heinz and all the different interviews were very enlightening as to like what's going on here. And yeah, like it's like, you know, the game's big, but like after reading this, you're like, my goodness, it's like stupid big. So yeah, oh yeah, we have another bracket of this. My bad, we have page 2. It says, when you get bounties put on you, there are ways to undo them. Museum at New Atlantis explains the lore of the game and the Colony War and what happened to Earth, etc. Says the boost pack skill is really important and fun. We've heard that twice. Adoring fan cannot become a robot. I don't know who's asking that. There are enormous amounts of creatures. He has no clue how many there are in the game. And he says he has no clue how long it will take to 100% the game. He says 150 hours and he isn't even slightly close. Lots of mod support post-launch. Mission boards can ask you to build outposts on planets. I thought that was interesting. He gave a hilarious example on the mission board. Gave him a quest to take 2 people across to different planets, space taxi. After 5 hours, he found the 2 people still on board his ship and realized he completely forgot about them and their destination. I mean, that's pretty cool. Lots of Easter eggs, as you would expect. No level cap. Starter guides are coming out, according to the German interviewer, no clue when. And people on PC have played the game, and they said the performance is smooth. Yeah, we did cover that. So, yeah, man, exciting for this, right? And a lot of things building up for this. So again, if you're looking to play this early access, you do have to have premium. Oops, that's the upgrade version. Well, anyways, if you have Game Pass, you'll have access on the 6th of September. If you'd like to go early, so that'd be September 1st, you do need to have premium. If you have Game Pass, then you need to get the premium upgrade, which is $35 or $34.99. Again, all of these products from the full game to the full premium or even the premium upgrade digital is all on my products there in the lower left-hand corner of the screen if you want to check it out. Right up there with, we've got the backbone and other items here. Also, Starfield related controller and headset if you are in the market. And again, it helps support the channel too. So if you're going to make the purchase and you want to help support, it's a great place to do it. And also the release times we have for this, depending on your time zone, because remember, this starts at 12 midnight UTC, and then everybody has to conform from your time zone. So for us in the United States, it's actually going to be August 31st, Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 8:31 Thursday, 5 p.m. PST, and 8:31, 7 p.m. CST. And what is it? 9/1 Friday, 2 a.m. CEST, so European Standard Time. So just keep that in mind. And again, you have to have premium to do that. And if you have Game Pass, all you need to do is just have the premium upgrade and you're good to go. Oh, wait, there's premium. Duh. Here's the upgrade. And then if you just want to buy the game, That's the premium, so it's $100. So it's actually a steal if you're on Game Pass. So just putting that out there. So yeah, so much of this stuff coming through. Again, we got a video coming up to help with the PlayStation players or people that don't have PCs that are fast enough to play this. There are some real options. So hopefully we'll see you in that next video / live stream. Love you. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.